What's going on, all my fellow fantasy basketball fans? I hope you are having a great week. It's going down today. Waiver Wire Queen is going to talk about the top 5 players currently in fantasy basketball. And these are the players that I just have identified are the best. And when I say that they're the best, their impact on their teams, and then obviously their statistics and just everything that they're doing to help their team. Now, some of these teams don't have the best records, but you can see that they're moving in the right direction. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can see more great content and help the channel grow. Come on now, make sure you are tuning into the Score Fantasy Basketball on the regular and make sure you like this video so you can get the YouTube algorithm jumping, moving, and so the videos can be recommended to more people and we add to our lovely fan base. Let's jump right into my top 5 players in fantasy basketball. And again, these are my top 5s that I am letting you all know. I feel like, hey, these are the guys. And guess what? Some of these guys weren't the first 2 or 3 picks, okay? Because I know that I had the first pick in the draft and I actually dropped the ball. I will admit that I dropped the ball. I was trying to decide between Joker and Luca, and my mind said it should be Joker based on the fact of how the center position is in fantasy basketball. But my heart went with Luca, and that to me has hurt me. Even though Luca is playing his tail off, I feel like guards are a dime a dozen. It's the center position that is scarce. And of course, you can get centers who can get you 15, 20 points, but you cannot get a center who's going to get you over 50 points. But again, y'all, Waiver Wire Queen dropped the ball. Even though Luca is great, I still feel like I dropped the ball because the number one pick should have been Joker, since I was considering between those two, or the Greek freak. But nonetheless, let's stop jabbering because I know you are waiting for the best top 5 list in fantasy basketball. And now we are going to work our way from 5 all the way to number 1. So let's talk about who my 5th player is. Obviously, early on in the season, James Harden wasn't really playing well. I had a lot of people reach out on whether they should trade him or what should they do. And, depending on the trade offers they received, some of those, I was like, just wait, be patient. He's going to pick it up. You see, last season he started off slow and he picked it up last season and he picked it up already this season. He went from ranking in the 20s to ranking top 5. He is my 5th best player right now in fantasy basketball. So if you was patient and you waited for James Harden, you have a nice little smile on your face. And you can thank Waiver Wire Queen for that smile. So what is James Harden doing? So if you have James Harden, you can expect some nights he's going to get a triple double for your team or close to a triple double. And a lot of nights it's going to get you a double double. It's going to get you around 45, maybe even 48 fantasy points in a points based league. Statistically, he is averaging 20.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 9.2 assists, and 1.4 steals, which is really good. He's only shooting 41% from the field, which is really not that great, but it's James Harden, and he is making up for that in other areas. Obviously, if you have him in a categories based league, it's going to hurt your field goal percentage, but he's going to make up for it with 7.8, 7.5 rebounds, 9.2 assists. That's a lot. So don't be discouraged if you have him in the categories basically. And right now he is shooting 37.8% from threes, which is good. The downfall is he is averaging 4.9 turnovers per game, which is very, very high. He has the ball in his hands a lot, so you can expect the turnovers to be high. However, in a categories based league, you have to be mindful that he's going to hurt you with the field goal percentage, and he's going to have almost 5 turnovers a game. Sometimes it's going to be more than that, but it's just averaging out to 4.9. Let's be real. He's had some games where it's gotten more than 4 or 5 turnovers. But nonetheless, you're getting a top 5 player, currently ranked fourth. You're getting a player who is going to help your team in so many different areas. And on most nights, it's going to get you a double double. And then there are those nights where you're going to see the triple double. And then some nights he's not going to have 20 points. He's going to get you 30, maybe even 40 if he's really feeling it. So with James Harden, you're winning. And kudos to all of the owners who have James Harden, who waited and stuck with him. And now you are seeing the benefits of keeping him. You are being rewarded for your patience. Okay. And BK is 14-5, so they're moving in the right direction. Again, with BK, I still feel like they need to make a move with Kyrie Irving because I don't feel like Harden and Durant is enough to beat the Warriors in the finals. And it may not be enough to get out of the East. So they're going to have to address that. My fourth ranked fantasy basketball player is Anthony Davis. He's playing his tail off this season, even though the Lakers' record is not that great. Nonetheless, LeBron was out. There's some other factors. They're trying to work in the Russell Westbrook situation and other new players to the team. So I'm sure once everybody gets more comfortable with each other and understands their role, that record should improve. They're 10-10, 500. They're supposed to be competing for championship teams. They're going to have to get above 500. Currently, I do not see the Lakers beating the Warriors. Just gonna say it. I do not. The Warriors are on another level right now. But nonetheless, Anthony Davis is playing his tail off. The unibrow is doing the damn thing. It's going to get you around 47, 48 of NFC points on a nightly basis. Some nights it's going to get you over 50. That's just what it is with Anthony Davis. He's shooting over 50% from the field, which is really good. And he's averaging 24.3 points per game, 10.3 rebounds. It's going to get you 3 assists and a steal and over 2 blocks per game. That is very, very good production from Anthony Davis. Just be mindful that there are going to be those occasional nights where he's not going to play. The knock on Anthony Davis is injuries. He's always hurt, right? There's never a season that Anthony Davis just is not going to miss a whole bunch of time. We know that. So you drafted Anthony Davis. You knew that, okay, there is a high probability that he's going to miss some games. And you know what? You just have to deal with it. That is part of playing fantasy basketball because injuries are part of the game. And nonetheless, drafting a player like Anthony Davis, knowing that he is injury prone. But nonetheless, the talent is there. And sometimes you just got to take a chance. High risk, high reward. And when I say high risk, high reward, I mean the injury factor. Because let's be real, he's talented as hell. So let's talk about the hottest guard in the NBA right now, one of the greatest to ever do it, the greatest three-point shooter of all time, Steph Curry. I think that was a great introduction, y'all. What do y'all think? I know that was a beautiful introduction. Steph Curry is not playing any games, okay? The Warriors aren't playing any games. Steph Curry is playing out of his mind so far this season, but, this is what he does. Look what he did last season. Look what that Warriors team was able to do last year with injuries and everything that they dealt with. They are going to be a problem in the playoffs. Clay hasn't played a game yet, okay? Wiggins is playing very well. They got some rookies that are playing great. They have some great role players, and you obviously know Draymond is going to be Draymond. Steph isn't playing any games. Warriors have the best record in the NBA. They are the best team in the NBA at 16-2. They are very, very dangerous. And if Clay returns and he's the old Clay, y'all might as well hand them over that daggone trophy right now. Let's go on to the next season. Okay. Steph is averaging 47 fantasy points. Some nights it's going to get you 50. He already had an 80-point performance. So, sorry for the teams that had to play against him, but he dropped 80. Most likely lost that week. But this is the type of performances you get when you have Steph Curry, who's capable of hitting shots all over the court. Kind of reminds me of me, y'all. I used to be able to hit shots all over the court. Y'all know I'm just joking with y'all. Nonetheless, Steph Curry's averaging 28.2 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 6.8 assists, 1.6 steals. When you think about Steph Curry, you're like, oh, he's just going to shoot the ball. But then when you really look at the numbers and look at his stats, you're like, oh, he's rebounding, he's getting assists, he's getting steals. So you're not just getting points. You're getting the points, pretty much the scoring. You're getting the rebounds, assists, steals. You're getting more than what you would assume you would get from Steph Curry. He's a complete player. I mean, most times people say, oh, he's just going to score. He's a complete player. He's doing it all for his team. Definitely MVP caliber type season for Steph Curry. He's doing Steph Curry type things. And he's shooting 46% from the field and over 41% from threes. He's hot as hell. That's what he's doing. He's scorching out there every night, y'all. Doing the damn thing. And again, I cannot stress this enough. The Warriors record 16-2. Best team in NBA, and it's very dangerous. I don't know how many teams want to play them. I don't think many. Okay, I watched them beat the living snot out of BK. I don't think too many teams want to see the Warriors in the playoffs, let alone in the finals, especially at full strength. Again, if Clay returns as the old Clay, Wiggins, you got the rookies in there. I mean, my gracious, the Lord, you have a problem. Let's talk about the second best fantasy player in fantasy basketball, Nikola Joker. Now, again, I did say earlier I was going back and forth on whether I should draft Joker or Luka or the Greek Freak, and the pick should have been Joker or the Greek Freak because I don't have Luka in my top 5. Okay, so Joker is averaging over 54, 55 fantasy points on a nightly basis. That is insane. He is a center, but he pretty much is kind of like the point guard too for that team. Right now, their record doesn't reflect just how great he is, and that's because they're missing one of their key pieces. They're missing Jamal Murray, and then you have Porter Jr., who's dealing with the back issue again. I mean, this Joker is a problem. I mean, best center in the NBA, very skilled, big, but again, the Denver record 9-9. They're just a 500 team. They have taken several steps backwards, and you figure taking those steps backwards are a lot of injury issues that have plagued that team to their best players. And then Porter Jr. wasn't playing really good before the injury. So that's what's hurting them. But statistically, Joker isn't playing any games and he isn't taking any steps back. He is still doing what he did last season, and he is producing at a high level. One of the best players in fantasy. He is averaging 26.4 points per game, 13.6 rebounds, 6.4 assists. Again, I said he is acting like the point guard. 6.4 assists. Obviously, that says a lot about your center. And then he's averaging 1.2 still. So he's doing his thing. He's shooting over 59% from the field, over 41% from threes. He is amazing. Definitely should have been my pick at number 1 or the number 1 rated player in fantasy basketball, according to Waiver Wire Queen, the Greek Freak. Can anybody argue against why he wouldn't be ranked number 1? No. Okay, he's averaging over 50 plus points on a nightly basis in fantasy. So if you have him, you have no issues. Even on a bad night, he's still going to get 50 fantasy points, okay? And then you got to realize he's going to do other things. Let's be real. Shooting over 51% from the field, 27.2 points per game, 11.7 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1 steal, and he's going to get you about 2 blocks. He is a dominant player. He is beyond a force that I wouldn't even want to compete against in fantasy, because I already know that every night I can expect him to get 50 plus on my team. So I always be like, oh my God, I got to play Joker. Oh my God, I got to play the Greek Freak. Oh no, I don't want to play these two. They scare me in fantasy, which is why you should want them on your side, okay? If you get the top pick in fantasy, it should always be between Joker and the Greek Freak. Yes, Luka is great. However, these two guys are on another level fantasy-wise, and they should be the top two players off the board. Again, the Greek Freak is the best player in fantasy basketball right now. Although the Bucks are kind of slow, they're getting into their rhythm. Players injured, Middleton missed some time. Greek Freak missed the game. They are slowly working their way back into championship mode, okay? I don't think that the Hawks will be able to compete with them. They're not, even my Bulls, I don't. BK, again, that's going to be a good series if those two teams play. I don't think Philly would be able to beat the Bucks. They need Ben Simmons, okay? Whether they like it or not, they need him. They're not going to win without him. And then again, like I said, Greek Freak, hands down, the top ranked player in fantasy according to Waiver Wire Queen. The Bucks are 11-8. They have a lot of work to do, and I expect them to do it. Greek Freak is just going to take it to a whole nother level. That's what he does. Okay. Best player in the NBA. Can we say that? He arguably is the best player in the NBA right now. Of course, people are going to say, well, what about KD? KD is great as hell. We all know that. However, Greek Freak, this is his time right now. This is his time. Just won a ring. I know there was a lot of factors that played into that championship, but did you see how he played in the finals? Okay, that's why he is the top ranked, top rated, I'll say it like that, best player in fantasy and arguably the best player in the NBA. Y'all let me know who you think is the best player in fantasy, and does being the best player in fantasy mean you are the best player in the NBA? Make sure you hit that like button so you can see more great content like this, and also subscribe to the channel to help the channel grow. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Score Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to The Score for more fun and great advice on how to win at fantasy basketball. And if you've got comments or questions about The Score, send them to waiverwirequeen@gmail.com. The Score.